Oh, this show is going to be all about your guys' questions, your guys' comments, good comments, not so great comments. That's what we're going to be talking about. But I'm going to take a little side moment just to talk about today's stock market. Tesla is down about 3 or 4 percentage points right now. It started up in the early going and then headed straight down right after the jobs report, and also some reporting about Tesla offering discounts at on inventory. Gary Black is reporting this morning. He thinks those are the two reasons. The market's also headed down generally after the jobs report. I said earlier this morning that I thought the smart people would be looking at the jobs report headline, knee-jerk reaction, and then eventually they'd get it and the market would pop back up. The market has gone sideways, but has not popped back up. The bonds topped immediately after the jobs report went way down. A lot of profit taking there on the jobs report. Again, knee-jerk reaction. The jobs report was great. It was exactly what you'd want it to be. But again, people don't read past the headlines on a lot of these issues as they come, especially on a slow week, a short week. People are already on the road. So anyway, I think this will all sort itself out over a couple of days. There is no fundamental reason, no foundational reason why the market should be down, or why Tesla should be down, or why bonds should be in such a heavy profit-taking situation. All right. This is Randy Kirk. Oh yeah, in case you didn't know, hit like and subscribe. Hey, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys. There's a huge number of you folks who are just regular now. Come on, once, twice, maybe even 3 times a day and listen to the show. And that has really caused the show to increase numbers over the last few weeks. We've been going like this. Thank you so much. Some of you even mentioned that you tell your friends about the show. I appreciate that as well. If you want to put it on X, like it on X, put it on other social media, that would be wonderful too. Remember, we've got the Friday special. So hit these up at $20 a piece. No matter how many you buy, it's $20. You can buy one for $20. If you're outside the country, add another $20. No matter how many you're going to buy, just one time on that $20 for freight. And then if you are interested in getting involved in Patreon, you get it for free. All right, let's go ahead and take a look here at some of the questions and comments that you guys have been leaving. By the way, you guys are the best. I've looked at comments on so many different channels, and I get the best, smartest comments and questions on my channel. If anybody, that's why I'm now starting to report them about every 10 days or so. I'm going to, do a show where we just talk about what you guys want to know more about. So let's get the very most important issue out of the way first. Norman Garreau 7757 says, it is time to buy some new shirts. I'm tired of seeing these. LOL. So, okay. Maybe I'll go into some winter shirts. Now, this is Southern California, and I'm out in Riverside. So winter is only until 10 in the morning, and then we get back to 70 degrees in the afternoon. But I do tend to start wearing long sleeve shirts in the winter, or sweaters. And so maybe I just will abandon my Hawaiian shirts here in a couple of weeks, and we'll see if you guys are sad or glad. Anyway, okay, so getting that, and I will definitely have some new Hawaiian shirts for next season, as always. Okay. Harry Chu 650 says, options activity in either direction is rarely good for Tesla. It is just speculation that turns in mind-boggling ways. And then Jbermiup, Jbermiup 8030 says, let's hear what you bought for LEAPS. I'm considering that too. All right. First of all, options trading. Oh boy, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but there's plenty of good reasons to buy options. I buy the LEAPS specifically because I believe totally in the company in the long term, that no matter what the stock market does in the short term, no matter what Tesla does, no matter what Elon says, no matter what all these things happen in the long term, Tesla is going to be a $1,000 stock or a $2,000 stock or maybe even a $5,000 stock. Or if you like Warren, it is going to be a $10,000 stock. Anyway, whatever the number is going to be, it's going to be a lot higher than it is now. And if I buy a very long-term leap, like 2 years out, there's a very good chance that between now and 2 years from now, I'm going to make substantial money. Now, I've also traded those on a, in and out day trading, sometimes in and out twice in the same day. Back a couple of years ago, made a tremendous amount of money doing that, but it was a little hard on the ticker. So my personal ticker. And so, I stopped doing that, but I still buy the leaps as almost an investment. So I got 2 years for that investment to pay off. And I think I'm going to be a big winner on those investments. So that's what I do. I tend to buy the ones that are out of the money because they're cheaper, so I can buy more of them. So that's how I work. The specifics, I think I've got some June 2025s now. I think I'm buying June 2025s, if I remember correctly. Okay. So that's that. So options make sense in a lot of cases. I don't know how to play the negative side at all. I just not interested in the puts. I'm not interested in selling covered calls. Somebody else can explain that to you. I've never done it and don't understand it. Okay. Next we have Ryan 6391. I thought we were supposed to have 5,000 bots already doing stuff. Randy, you're way too optimistic. I do like that you have others on that have more level expectations. Well, yeah, I like to have folks on the show that have different points of view than I do. I don't know how many bots we're going to have by the end of the year, but it isn't the end of the year yet. We have 5 weeks to go, and we have no idea how many they've already built. So I am holding with my contention. My main contention, the most important contention, is that they are going to be in production shortly. I mean, production, actually making multiples of them. I believe that there's no reason for them to only make a few thousand. I think they will be making production. They will be ramping up, and that they will ramp up enough to not only cover all their needs internally and cover all the needs of their suppliers, but they will make enough in 2024 that they will begin to sell them to or rent them, lease them something to other folks. That continues to be my contention. That they haven't made 5,000 or 10,000, or that we haven't seen them yet this year. Yeah, I believe that they would make a bunch of them for testing, for training, etc. this year. And I might still be right, but we don't know because the year hasn't concluded yet. All right. But yes, I'm an optimist, by the way. So then we have Land, Landavies 4853. He says, amazing of she. By the way, that's the correct pronunciation. Somebody said that in my comments asked, he said, don't you know, it's not G and it's not Z, it is she, like in SHE. Looked it up. They were right. So amazing if she rescues Tesla finally. I agree. China deserves $25,000 compact. Australia exports billions of red dirt to China. A few BEVs in return is a small ask. We already take Great Wall Motors. I don't know what that last part means. Maybe somebody can help me out. Okay. By the way, very important point here. We have said several times on the show over the last couple of weeks, and lots of people have put this in their content on X. They put this in their content on YouTube videos, and I've seen it in headlines and articles, is that India doesn't want to buy from China. Japan doesn't want to buy from China. Australia doesn't want to buy from China. Look, I did the research months ago, and I've reported that on this channel months ago. India and China do huge amounts of business together. Japan and China do huge amounts. Korea, and I think China might be Korea's #1 trading partner. I mean, it's surprising, but they do a huge. Australia, as mentioned in this article, does a huge amount of. These folks all trade a lot. Now, does that mean that India would prefer to buy from China if they have an option? When it comes down to this Tesla decision next year, if the whole India thing happens, and Tesla is able to start shipping cars into China while they build the plant, will they come from Berlin or will they come from China? I just don't know for sure. I'm not sure that they couldn't come from China if they were a lot less expensive, and that market's going to need an inexpensive product. So we'll see what happens there. But I just want to let you know, lots of trade between those countries and China. Mike Reinert, 1244 says, about Tesla growth, I really hope they can grow at the 50% rate from 2020 through 2025 that Elon predicted. But unless they open another factory, I don't see how they can do it. It'll be a stretch to make it next year. I know there's still some room that they could add shifts, but there's a max on these factories that they have now. 1 million at Shanghai, maybe 750 in Berlin and Texas each, and 500,000 in California. That's 3.5 absolute max. 50% growth rate from 2020 to 25 would be 3.8 million in 2025. Is there something I don't know that makes that possible? So you've got, first of all, just a couple of small corrections. You've got Shanghai is definitely capable of doing 1.1 million. California is definitely capable of doing 600,000 and probably 650,000. Those are minor corrections. You've got the Cybertruck coming out of Texas, so that adds to your numbers in Texas. So maxed out with all factories that they currently have, just blowing it out and hitting the best numbers they probably possibly could. Yes, it would be possible without any new factories to hit the 3.8 million in 2025. Of course, we expect there to be more factories, and we expect the Gen 3 cars to start being made. So there you go. There is your answer. I hope that was helpful. But yes, Mexico needs to be, up and running in 2025. Certainly, if we're going to be able to make the numbers in 2026 and going forward, we would also like to see India and a second factory in China going, and possibly even one more. So we'll see what happens with all of that. In addition, of course, to expanding Berlin, expanding Texas. Okay, let's see. Blackmore's Archangel says, why is Elon sparring with everybody? This hurts the stock and the company. You fools like to watch your share prices fall. I bought the stock to make money. I'm not here for his mission. If you did, then take it on the chin. And he says, by the way, and take it on the chin and love watching your money disappear. Well, okay. There's a feeling, a sense that when you have a genius, an incredible, maybe the most important entrepreneur, industrialist of at least the century and maybe the millennia, in Elon Musk, you're probably going to get some weirdness along with that. And so, can you get one without the other? Is there a way for Elon to be modified? Some people said this about Trump as well. He had so many great victories during his 4 years, but his mouth, it just kept on getting him in so much trouble. You've got all kinds of other people that are the same way. Maybe they're in trouble because of their sexual antics, because of the way they treat people. Look at Steve Jobs. He was, vilified for the way that he treated people, but they get things done. They get things accomplished. Am I trying to make light of Elon Musk's mistakes? No, but I think over time, they aren't going to matter when it comes to Tesla. I don't even think they're going to matter when it comes to X.com. I don't think they're going to matter with X.AI. I don't think they matter with any of his companies, because at the end of the day, folks want what he does. He makes compelling products at compelling prices. And Elon is passionate about things, and that passion is in his products and the fact that he, isn't spending money on himself. He's all in on his companies. And so I guess we're going to have to live with the rest of it as well. All right, let's see. Ian Howard 316. Sorry, Randy, skipping this one and any other with that flopper. Meet Kevin. Not sure if you had him as a guest, which I doubt, as he thinks he's too big, but referencing any of his predictions will not bode well in the future. See you on the next one. Okay, I don't knock other YouTube folks very much. I occasionally will say something negative about some YouTubers out there. I will say to you that I have very little respect for Meet Kevin or Ask Kevin. I never watch his show. Yes, that's not quite true. I sometimes will pop in if his headline is just too hard to pass, but I listen very carefully for the nuances of the way he's saying what he says, because sometimes I just believe he's trying to sell product. And so I'm very nervous about his take on things, because what he wants you to do is he wants you to buy his services. And so I sometimes feel like that's what he's trying to accomplish. On this channel, you don't have to worry about that. I'm not selling any services that any of you are going to be needing. Now, I do want you to buy some of these, but other than that, so sorry to hear you skipped it, Ian. It was a really good show. Ford, according to David Will 1320, Ford's latest numbers show that their hybrids are selling better than their ICE and EVs. So no surprise, they're taking note of market demand. And then Dan Harold 3087 says, hybrids are the perfect car from the dealership standpoint. First and foremost, they retain the need for scheduled maintenance, like oil changes, etc. Better because they are even more complex than ICE cars, more time in the service bay, and customers think they're buying a modern, climate-friendly car. From the manufacturer standpoint, they get to keep building ICE engines and fit the cars with cheap little nickel metal hybrid batteries. What's not to like? I'm kind of up in the air on this one, guys. I have no interest in buying a hybrid. I think that hybrids are a wrong product. Eventually, they might be an okay bridge for some purposes. There are people that need an inexpensive way to, get a car that's going to give them more mileage. So I can see why some people would be buying hybrids. And I could also see, I try to get in the mind of these manufacturers, having been one, and I can see, like my partner, he was always asking me to make this less expensive water bottle. Bugged me for 2 years. Come on, Randy, we need to make this less expensive. I said it'll eat into, it'll cannibalize our quality water bottle. He says, no, but we need it anyway for our markets. And I finally bought it, and we sold hundreds of thousands of them, and it didn't cannibalize the more quality bottle at all. So I'm trying to think like that. What is the reality here? And right now, I think I'm going to go along with David Will for the moment. It might make sense to do hybrids for a while, but these companies better be investing heavily, which they don't appear to be, in the transition into full BEV, because there is going to be a point at which the BEV product is going to be significantly cheaper than a similarly outfitted, not only ICE car, but also hybrid. It's not going to be a contest. And if these other companies are not able to compete, they're going to be toast. So that's kind of where I am right now. I'm really thinking this one through a lot because I think it's important to think about it. Intermist says, Randy, in the interest of balance and to show a lack of optimism bias, I think it would be a good idea to produce a complimentary video of reasons why Tesla's stock price could plummet. In other words, for instance, he says, Elon sells more stock. So that would keep the bears happy as well. Just a thought. You were my number one Tesla YouTuber, but now have slipped to number 2. No, Michael Tyler is my current favorite. He has optimism bias too, but not to the same extent. All the best. I don't know who Michael Tyler is. Let me know in the comments below if you know who Michael Tyler is. Should I check him out? I probably will anyway, just because Intermist said I should. Anyway, okay, I have done shows on the negative side. I have folks on my show that are less optimistic than I am, as mentioned up above. I do have a huge optimism bias because I don't think there are many things that can get in the way of this guy. And I mean it, this guy, Elon Musk. Like Apple, the company is now positioned to where even if Elon got called back to his home planet, I think the company could do very, very well just executing with the amazing team that has been assembled. The best engineers in the world, some of the best leadership in the world, the best products in the world, the best product ramp plans for do they need Elon to finish the FSD? No. Do they need Elon to finish the robot? No. Do they need Elon to finish Dojo? No. So, just go down the line. It's all in place. Elon could take a vacation finally, but he'd probably get hurt. Based on, if you know the whole story, he gets hurt when he goes on vacation, gets malaria, almost dies. So he doesn't like vacations because he's afraid he's going to get hurt. So all I'm saying is, yes, there are always things. We could have Iceland's next volcano could give us a black winter, or a couple of black winters or something. I mean, there's things that can go wrong. I don't typically think on that side of the scale, so I try to bring a few folks on who are a little more balanced than I am. All right, we've got Kezia Sarah, I think. Kezia Sarah, KEZIASARAH. I need a good laugh this morning. Love Randy's clickbait. Remember when he predicted 2.3 million deliveries in 2023, and actually it's going to be 1.8? So I don't ever do clickbait. And so I'm going to break this into at least two things. Number one, I never do clickbait. Clickbait means that whatever claim that I make in the thumbnail and whatever claim I make in the headline, I have to speak to those claims in the story. And it's not going to be to pull the wool over your eyes in the thumbnail and then change completely what it means in the story. I don't do that. What I do is I have to do something in the thumbnail and the headline that is going to energize folks to come and look at the product, look at the content, but I'm never going to do clickbait. So that's number one. And that day it was not clickbait. I just said what I've been saying all along, is that I think that stock will go to all-time high in 2024, early 2024, January 2024, and also that I was going to give 12 or 15 reasons why. And then I did. I gave all the reasons why that I think it's going to get there. And so that takes us to this next one. Bow hunting radneck. That's I want bow hunting radneck to do a comment below and tell me, what does that entire name mean? I think I can get it, but I'd love to know more details. Why radneck instead of redneck, anyway, I don't know. All right, Randy, I think you listed about 15 different things that need to line up. I'm not holding my breath for them all to happen so fast in January. No. What I said was, there was two shows. The first show was the 12 things that will happen between now and the end of January. Those things will happen. All those things will happen, but the number associated with them is in question. So will we hit 500,000 cars? Will Tesla announce? Maybe they won't even announce their 2024 numbers at the earnings call in January. I think they will. I think they have to give some kind of guidance. So, but what will that guidance be? So I say they will announce the guidance, and here's what I think the number will be. And I think it needs to be this high in order for us to get to the all-time high at the end of the month. But it didn't require all 12 of those things to happen. Then the next day, on Tuesday, I think it was, I did the 17 things or 15 things that might happen. And those were things like FSD complete. Not all 17 of those things or 15 of those things have to happen in order to get to all-time highs. In fact, many of those things on that list of 15 were things that would take us way beyond all-time highs to 1,000, 1,500. Like, for instance, FSD complete are beginning to actually show production of Optimus. So anyway, I hope that clears that up. Then TZ8565 says, if you are wrong by January, I will unsubscribe. Okay, so again, all-time high, January 30th, after the earnings call, I established you have to get all this right. Number one, things have to happen between now and then in order for us to get to all-time high. It is not, no matter what happens between now and January, it's going to be all-time high. We could have another pandemic. We will not be at all-time highs. We can have a war break out between China and Taiwan. We would not hit all-time highs. We could have Saudi Arabia say they're not going to ship any oil to the United States. I mean, go down the list. And then there's things that could happen at Tesla, things that would be way off. We could miss the 500. We could miss the 1.8 million by 50,000 or something, enough to where the stock would just go tanking. We could hit 15% margins in January. I mean, there's a lot of things that could happen. So you have to look at the entire analysis. You can't just look at a piece of the analysis. You have to look at the whole analysis. And then if the things that I say are going to, and one of the things that has to happen, by the way, that wasn't in that list of 12, is we have to have a bull market. we have to have a risk-on market. Now, if the market gets risk-on enough, we could go to double all-time high, not by the end of January, but not that long into the year. If the risk-on market comes back and everybody's pouring cash into the market and looking for the next Tesla, remember when that was I want to find the next Tesla. Well, the next Tesla is Tesla. And when the risk-on market is back, the all-time high will seem like it'll seem like the bottom. It'll seem like, oh my gosh, I hope it doesn't go back to 410 again. All right, so you want to look at the analysis. It's all about the analysis, not the final number. The final number is a point. It's a what would you call it? It is I know what it is. Oh, yeah, it's one of those numbers that you keep as something that will show that the direction was right and the analysis was right. You've got to have some kind of a key performance indicator, a KPI. So that's a key performance indicator that would indicate that we're in a bull market and that Tesla has executed on most of what they said they were going to execute on, and then we'll be at that number again. All right. And then Bill B 33525 says, why isn't the stock back up to 400 if the company is doing so good? Well, the opposite of what I just said is also true. We do not have a risk-on market. We have a market that is still it's on the second leg of the bull, but it is still trying to really figure out, is it really bull territory yet? Apparently, there was a lot of money pouring into equities and into the bond market over the last 30 days. That's another great indication that we're going into that bull market, but we are not yet back to a risk-on environment. We could have Tesla basically only do okay in terms of execution between now and January, okay in their earnings report in January. But if we have a risk-on market, and if it looks like Tesla is going to do fine going forward, continuing to hit their KPIs, then we could be back to 400 just based on the market being strong. I continue to say, I will say it again, there are no barriers to Tesla. There's no technical barrier to Tesla going back to all-time high. Absolutely no technical barriers to getting back to the over 300. So it's really pretty much right now about the market and about Tesla executing. And those are the two things you always need in any kind of stock investment. All right. So hit like, hit subscribe, hit notify. What we got coming later today is we will not have Jeff Lutz on today. He is already traveling. So next week it might not be Wednesday, it might be Tuesday next week. We're still talking about that. But in regular times, he will be on the Good News Wednesday show. So tonight it will just have me. And then tomorrow I'll do one show on Thanksgiving, and then back to normal stuff on Friday, including, of course, Larry Goldberg on Good News Friday. All right. What else? So yeah, $20, no matter how many you buy. $20. Lots and lots of people taking advantage. You can buy 10, you can buy 3, you can buy 1. It's still $20. Add $20 for international. And also, if you let me know camo or stainless, that'll be a huge help. That's all I got. See you later when we talk about Good News Wednesday later in the afternoon. Been great talking to you.
Click the link below to get your paperback, Kindle, or audiobook now.